Sergeant Maria Santos had always been different from the other recruits. While her fellow soldiers struggled with the standard M16 rifle during basic training, she could place shots in a grouping smaller than a quarter at 300 yards. Her drill sergeant, a gruff man who had seen 3 tours in Afghanistan, noticed her unusual talent during the 3rd week of training. The daughter of a Montana rancher, Maria had grown up hunting elk and deer across the vast wilderness surrounding her family's property. Her father, a Vietnam veteran, had taught her to shoot when she was 8 years old. By the time she was 16, she could drop a running deer at 600 yards with her father's old hunting rifle. What made her special wasn't just her steady hands or sharp eyes. It was her ability to read wind patterns, calculate bullet drop, and maintain perfect breathing control under pressure. When Maria enlisted in the Army at 19, she had no intention of becoming a sniper. She wanted to serve her country and earn money for college. But during her first week at Fort Benning, her extraordinary marksmanship caught the attention of Master Sergeant Rodriguez, a scout sniper instructor who had been looking for exceptional candidates for the elite sniper program. Rodriguez watched Maria during a routine qualification exercise. While other recruits fired rapid shots and celebrated hitting the target anywhere within the scoring rings, Maria took her time. She studied the wind flags, adjusted her position, controlled her breathing, and delivered precise shots that clustered in the exact center of the target. Each bullet hole touched the previous one. After the exercise, Rodriguez approached her. He was a small, weathered man with intense dark eyes and hands scarred from years of handling weapons in harsh conditions. He had trained some of the best snipers in the military, soldiers who had gone on to make impossible shots in Iraq and Afghanistan. But he had never seen raw talent like this. "Santos," he said, studying her target through his binoculars. "You ever think about sniper school?" Maria looked puzzled. She knew snipers existed, but she had never seriously considered it as a career path. In her mind, snipers were mysterious figures who operated in shadows, making life and death decisions from impossible distances. She was just a farm girl who happened to be good with rifles. "I don't know much about it, Sergeant," she replied honestly. Rodriguez smiled. In his 22 years of military service, he had learned to recognize potential when he saw it. Maria Santos possessed something that couldn't be taught: an innate understanding of ballistics, wind patterns, and the mental discipline required for precision shooting. These were gifts that, with proper training, could make her one of the most effective snipers in the military. "The sniper course is the hardest school in the Army," Rodriguez explained. 90% of candidates fail. Those who pass become part of an elite group. They operate independently, make critical decisions, and take shots that can change the outcome of entire missions. Over the next several days, Rodriguez observed Maria closely. He watched how she prepared for each shooting session, how she studied her equipment, and how she remained calm under pressure. During a particularly challenging exercise involving moving targets in windy conditions, while other recruits became frustrated and rushed their shots, Maria maintained her composure. She waited for the right moment, accounted for wind drift and target movement, and delivered perfect shots consistently. Rodriguez made his decision. He recommended Maria for the Army Sniper School at Fort Benning. The selection process was brutal. Candidates underwent weeks of physical and mental testing, advanced marksmanship training, and psychological evaluation. Many experienced soldiers with years of combat experience failed to make the cut. Maria's acceptance into sniper school surprised many of her fellow recruits. She was young, relatively inexperienced, and had never seen combat. But Rodriguez knew something they didn't. Natural talent, combined with the right training, could produce extraordinary results. The sniper course pushed Maria beyond anything she had experienced. Students learned advanced ballistics, camouflage and concealment, observation techniques, range estimation, and precision shooting at distances up to 1,000 yards. They studied weather patterns, learned to read mirage, and practiced making life-or-death decisions under extreme pressure. Maria excelled in every aspect of the training. Her instructors were impressed by her ability to remain invisible in various terrains, her skill at estimating ranges without instruments, and her uncanny ability to read wind conditions. But what truly set her apart was her performance on the rifle range. During the final qualification exercise, Students had to successfully engage targets at distances ranging from 300 to 1,000 yards, under various weather conditions and time constraints. The passing standard required hitting 80% of assigned targets. Maria hit every single target, many of them with first-round impacts that impressed even her seasoned instructors. Upon graduation, Maria received her sniper badge and was assigned to the 3rd Infantry Division. Her first deployment took her to Afghanistan, where she served as part of a sniper team providing overwatch for infantry operations in the mountainous regions near the Pakistani border. The terrain was perfect for long-range engagements, open valleys surrounded by rocky peaks that provided excellent shooting positions. During her first 6 months in Afghanistan, Maria established herself as one of the most effective snipers in her unit. She recorded 17 confirmed kills, all at distances exceeding 800 yards. Her longest confirmed kill during this deployment was 1,847 yards. A Taliban fighter who had been placing IEDs along a route used by American convoys. But Maria's true test came during a mission near the town of Musa Qala. Intelligence indicated that a high-value target, a Taliban commander responsible for coordinating attacks against coalition forces, was operating in the area. Maria and her spotter, Corporal Jackson, were inserted into a position overlooking the suspected compound. For 3 days, they remained hidden in a carefully constructed hide site, observing the compound through high-powered optics. On the 3rd day, their patience was rewarded. The target appeared, but he was positioned at an extreme distance. Maria's rangefinder indicated 2,247 yards. At that distance, even the slightest error in calculation would result in a miss. Maria had to account for wind speed and direction, temperature, humidity, altitude, and the Coriolis effect, the rotation of the Earth itself. She studied the conditions for over an hour, taking multiple wind readings at different elevations and calculating the precise trajectory needed. When she finally took the shot, using her Barrett M82A1 caliber rifle, the bullet flew for over 3 seconds before finding its target. The Taliban commander dropped instantly, and Maria had achieved the longest confirmed kill by an American female sniper at that time. Word of Maria's exceptional marksmanship spread throughout the military community. She was recommended for advanced sniper training and eventually qualified for the elite long-range sniper course, where she would learn to engage targets at distances previously thought impossible for human shooters. The long-range sniper course was conducted at a classified facility where only the military's most exceptional marksmen were trained. The curriculum included advanced meteorology, precision rifle maintenance, ultra-long-range ballistics, and shooting techniques for distances exceeding 2,500 yards. Students worked with the most advanced sniper rifles and ammunition available, including experimental weapon systems designed for extreme distance engagements. Maria's performance in this course was unprecedented. She consistently outshot instructors with decades of experience, demonstrated an intuitive understanding of complex ballistic calculations, and showed remarkable ability to adapt to changing conditions. During the final qualification exercise, she successfully engaged targets at 3,200 yards, a distance that pushed the absolute limits of rifle accuracy and human capability. Achieving a confirmed hit at 3,200 yards required not just exceptional marksmanship, but an understanding of physics that bordered on genius. At that distance, the bullet drop exceeded 400 inches. Wind deflection could move the projectile several feet off target, and the flight time approached 4 seconds. Maria had to calculate the exact position where her target would be when the bullet arrived, account for variables that most people couldn't even comprehend, and execute a perfect shot under extreme pressure. Her instructors were astonished. Hits at such extreme distances were rare even among the world's best snipers, and Maria had achieved multiple successful engagements during her qualification. She received the coveted 3,200-meter badge, an honor held by fewer than 50 people in the entire U.S. military. General Patricia Hartwell had seen everything during her 30-year military career. She had commanded troops in 3 different conflicts, earned a Silver Star for valor in Iraq, and risen through the ranks to become one of the highest-ranking female officers in the Army. At 52, she was known for her no-nonsense approach to leadership and her ability to identify exceptional talent among the soldiers under her command. On a scorching July morning at Fort Campbell, General Hartwell was conducting a routine inspection of the 3rd Infantry Division's training facilities. The temperature had already reached 95 degrees by 0800 hours, and the humidity made the air feel thick enough to swim through. Soldiers moved with the deliberate pace of those accustomed to training in extreme heat, but their professionalism remained evident in every aspect of their bearing and performance. The general's entourage included her aide-de-camp, Major Williams, the division's commanding officer, Colonel Thompson, and several other staff members. They were touring the sniper training range, observing advanced marksmanship exercises being conducted by the division's elite marksmen. Hartwell had always maintained a special interest in sniper operations, understanding their critical importance in modern warfare. As they approached the 1,000-yard firing line, Hartwell noticed a lone figure positioned at the far end of the range. The soldier was lying prone behind a Barrett M82A1 .50 caliber rifle, completely motionless except for the slight rise and fall of controlled breathing. Something about the shooter's positioning and absolute stillness caught the general's attention. "Who is that soldier?" Hartwell asked Colonel Thompson, pointing toward the distant figure. Thompson consulted his clipboard. "That would be Sergeant Santos, General. She's participating in our extended range qualification exercise today." Hartwell nodded and continued walking along the firing line, observing other shooters and discussing training protocols with her staff. The range was conducting multiple exercises simultaneously. Some shooters were engaging targets at 800 yards, others were practicing rapid engagement sequences, and a few were working on urban environment scenarios. As they passed behind Sergeant Santos, Hartwell noticed the distinctive patch on the soldier's uniform sleeve, a sniper badge she had never seen before. Instead of the standard sniper insignia, this badge featured crosshairs over a mountain silhouette with 3,200 M inscribed below it. Hartwell stopped walking. "Colonel Thompson," she said quietly, studying the unusual badge. "What exactly is that marking on Sergeant Santos's uniform?" Thompson followed her gaze, and his expression changed to one of respect mixed with amazement. "General, that's the 3,200-meter qualification badge. Sergeant Santos is one of only a handful of soldiers in the entire military who has achieved confirmed hits at that distance." Hartwell's eyes widened. She had heard rumors about ultra-long-range sniper qualifications, but she had never personally encountered a soldier who had achieved such an extraordinary standard. At 3,200 meters, over 2 miles, hitting a target required not just exceptional marksmanship, but a level of skill that bordered on the supernatural. "How many soldiers currently hold that qualification?" she asked. 47 in the entire U.S. military, General. Sergeant Santos is the youngest soldier ever to achieve it. And Thompson paused. "She's also the first female soldier to earn the 3,200-meter badge." Before Hartwell could respond, Santos squeezed her trigger. The massive rifle bucked with tremendous recoil, producing a thunderous boom that echoed across the range. Through her binoculars, Hartwell observed the target at the 2,100-yard line, a human silhouette barely visible even with optical magnification. Seconds later, the target dropped, indicating a direct hit. "Impressive shot at 2,100 yards, Hartwell commented. Major Williams, who had been quietly observing through a spotting scope, looked up with an expression of disbelief. "General, I don't think that was her target." "What do you mean?" Hartwell asked. Williams handed her his spotting scope and pointed toward a barely visible speck on the far ridge line. "I believe she was engaging the target at 3,200 yards. Hartwell adjusted the spotting scope and searched the distant ridge. At maximum magnification, she could barely make out a target positioned on the far hillside. As she watched, she saw the distinctive dust cloud that indicated a bullet impact, and the target disappeared from view. "That's impossible," she murmured. But the evidence was undeniable. Sergeant Santos had just made a successful hit at a distance that challenged the very limits of rifle accuracy and human capability. Santos began performing her post-shot routine, carefully recording data in a logbook and making minor adjustments to her rifle's scope. Her movements were precise and professional, showing no excitement or celebration despite having just accomplished something that most people would consider miraculous. "Sergeant Santos," General Hartwell called out as she approached the shooting position. Santos immediately ceased her activities and stood at attention. "Yes, General." Hartwell studied the young soldier before her. Santos appeared to be in her mid-20s, with the lean build and alert eyes characteristic of elite marksmen. Her uniform was immaculate despite hours of prone shooting in the dust and heat, and her demeanor projected quiet confidence without arrogance. "I understand you just engaged a target at 3,200 yards, Hartwell said. "Yes, General. Confirmed hit on target Echo 7. Stand at ease, Sergeant." Hartwell examined the Barrett rifle, noting the advanced optic system and precision modifications. "Tell me about that shot." Santos relaxed slightly but maintained her professional bearing. "General, current conditions included a 15-knot crosswind from the southeast, temperature of 96 degrees, humidity at 68%, and barometric pressure at 29.87 inches. Target was positioned at 3,247 yards, according to laser rangefinder, with an elevation difference of 347 feet. Hartwell was impressed by the technical precision of Santos's report, but she wanted to understand the human element behind such an extraordinary achievement. "How long did you study the target before taking the shot?" 47 minutes, General. "I took wind readings at multiple elevations, calculated bullet drop and drift, and waited for optimal atmospheric conditions." "And how certain were you of making the hit?" Santos considered the question carefully. "General, at that distance, multiple variables can affect bullet trajectory. I calculated an 83% probability of hit based on current conditions and my equipment capabilities." General Hartwell had worked with many elite soldiers during her career, but she had never encountered someone who could discuss such extreme long-range shooting with the casual precision that Santos demonstrated. The young sergeant wasn't boasting or trying to impress anyone. She was simply stating facts about her capabilities in the same tone she might use to discuss the weather. "Sergeant, how long have you been qualified at the 3,200-meter level?" 14 months. "General, and how many successful hits have you recorded at that distance?" "During training exercises, 37 confirmed hits out of 43 attempts. In combat situations, I have not yet had the opportunity to engage targets at that extreme range." Hartwell was astounded. A success rate exceeding 85% at 3,200 yards was beyond exceptional. It was unprecedented. She turned to Colonel Thompson. "Colonel, why wasn't I informed that we had a soldier of this caliber in the division?" Thompson looked somewhat embarrassed. "General, Sergeant Santos's capabilities are documented in her personnel file, but the extreme nature of her qualifications, well, they seemed almost too extraordinary to believe without witnessing them personally." Hartwell understood Thompson's position. Claims of such exceptional marksmanship might indeed seem exaggerated unless witnessed firsthand, but she had just observed Santos make an impossible shot with casual competence that suggested this level of performance was routine for her. "Sergeant Santos, are you familiar with the situation in the Afghan theater where our forces require long-range precision engagement capabilities?" "Yes, General. I've studied the tactical requirements and terrain analysis reports. The mountainous terrain there would seem ideal for someone with your particular skill set. I believe I could contribute effectively to operations in that environment, General." Hartwell made a mental note to discuss Santos's potential deployment with the appropriate command authorities. A sniper capable of engaging targets at distances exceeding 2 miles could provide unprecedented tactical advantages in Afghanistan's mountainous regions, where enemy forces often position themselves at extreme ranges to avoid conventional engagement. "One final question, Sergeant. What's the furthest distance at which you believe you could make a successful shot?" Santos considered this carefully. "General, my personal record is 3,428 yards under ideal conditions. However, with advanced ammunition and optimal atmospheric conditions, I estimate that successful engagements might be possible at distances approaching 3,600 to 3,700 yards." General Hartwell was speechless. Santos was discussing distances at which most people couldn't even see a human target, much less hit one with a rifle. yet her matter-of-fact delivery and demonstrated capabilities suggested she wasn't exaggerating. As the general's entourage prepared to continue their inspection tour, Hartwell took one last look at the 3,200-meter badge on Santos's uniform. She realized she had just encountered something truly extraordinary. A soldier whose capabilities transcended normal human limitations and entered the realm of legend. Within 48 hours of General Hartwell's encounter with Sergeant Santos, classified communications were flowing between Fort Campbell, the Pentagon, and forward operating bases in Afghanistan. The general had spent the previous evening reviewing Santos's complete service record, psychological evaluations, and training reports. What she discovered confirmed her initial assessment. Maria Santos possessed capabilities that could fundamentally change how the military approached long-range precision operations. Santos's performance metrics were unlike anything in military records. Her accuracy rates at extreme distances exceeded those of legendary snipers, whose exploits had become the stuff of military folklore. More importantly, her psychological profile indicated exceptional emotional stability, decision-making ability under pressure, and the moral character necessary for operations that would place enormous responsibility on a single soldier's shoulders. General Hartwell personally called General Morrison at Special Operations Command. "Jim, I need to discuss a soldier with unique capabilities that could significantly impact our operations in Afghanistan." "What kind of capabilities, Patricia?" "Confirmed sniper kills at distances exceeding 2 miles with consistency that our weapons testing people say shouldn't be possible." There was a long pause on the other end of the line. "Are you certain about these claims?" "I witnessed a 3,200-yard engagement personally. Clean hit, textbook execution. Discussed, like it was routine. This soldier has documented success rates at extreme distances that redefine what we thought humans could achieve with rifles." Within a week, Santos received orders to report to a classified facility for advanced evaluation and potential assignment to special operations units. The testing would be conducted by the military's top sniper instructors, ballistics experts, and psychological evaluation specialists. If Santos could demonstrate her capabilities under controlled conditions, she would be considered for deployment to Afghanistan's most challenging operational environments. The evaluation facility was located in the Nevada desert, where clear atmospheric conditions and varied terrain allowed for testing at extreme distances under carefully monitored conditions. Santos arrived to find herself being evaluated by soldiers whose reputations in the sniper community bordered on legendary. Master Sergeant Chen had trained Navy SEALs for 15 years. Gunnery Sergeant Williams held multiple Marine Corps marksmanship records. Captain Peterson had commanded sniper operations in Iraq and Afghanistan. These instructors had seen exceptional shooters before, but Santos's performance left them struggling to find appropriate comparisons. During her first day of evaluation, she successfully engaged targets at 2,800 yards under windy conditions that caused other expert marksmen to struggle at half that distance. Her ability to read atmospheric conditions, calculate complex ballistic problems mentally, and execute perfect shots consistently defied their experience. "I've been training snipers for 23 years, Master Sergeant Chen confided to his colleagues after watching Santos achieve 7 consecutive hits at 3,100 yards. "I've never seen anything like this. She's performing beyond the theoretical limits of both human capability and equipment precision." The evaluation included not just marksmanship testing, but extensive psychological assessment. Military psychologists wanted to ensure that Santos possessed the mental stability and moral character necessary for operations where a single shot could determine the success or failure of critical missions. Her evaluations revealed extraordinary stress tolerance, ethical decision-making ability, and emotional resilience that perfectly complemented her physical skills. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, the senior psychologist conducting the evaluation, was particularly impressed by Santos's ability to maintain perspective about her extraordinary capabilities. She understands the significance of her skills but doesn't allow them to affect her judgment or character. She views her marksmanship as a tool to serve her country and protect fellow soldiers, not as a source of personal glory. After 2 weeks of intensive evaluation, the conclusion was unanimous. Santos represented a unique military asset whose capabilities could provide unprecedented tactical advantages in specific operational environments. The recommendation was immediate deployment to Afghanistan as part of a special operations team tasked with missions requiring extreme-range precision engagement. Santos's deployment to Afghanistan was classified at the highest levels. She was assigned to a small unit operating in the mountainous regions near the Pakistani border, where Taliban and al-Qaeda forces had established positions at extreme distances from coalition patrol routes. These enemy forces felt safe from conventional engagement due to the vast distances involved. But Santos's capabilities would change that equation entirely. Her first mission involved supporting a rescue operation for a downed helicopter crew. The Taliban forces holding the crew were positioned on a mountaintop 3,400 yards from the nearest feasible approach route. Conventional sniper support would be ineffective at that distance, but Santos's unique capabilities made the impossible mission feasible. Working with her spotter, Staff Sergeant Rodriguez, Santos spent 6 hours studying the target area, calculating ballistic solutions for the extreme distance, and waiting for optimal atmospheric conditions. When she finally took the shot, the bullet traveled for nearly 4 seconds before eliminating the Taliban commander coordinating the hostage situation. The precision elimination created confusion among enemy forces that allowed the rescue team to successfully recover the downed aircrew. Word of Santos's capabilities spread throughout the special operations community, but strict operational security protocols kept details classified. She became known by the call sign, Ghost, due to her ability to eliminate targets at distances so extreme that enemy forces couldn't even determine where the shots originated. Over the next 8 months, Santos participated in 12 critical missions, achieving confirmed eliminations in each engagement. Her longest confirmed kill was recorded at 3,511 yards, a distance that exceeded the previous world record for sniper effectiveness. More importantly, her precision strikes consistently achieved their tactical objectives without collateral damage or operational complications. The psychological impact of Santos's operations on enemy forces proved as significant as the tactical effects. Taliban commanders became reluctant to operate in areas where they might be vulnerable to what seemed like supernatural marksmanship capabilities. Intelligence reports indicated that enemy forces were modifying their tactics and movement patterns specifically to avoid potential engagement by the mysterious sniper whose shots could reach them from impossible distances. General Hartwell followed Santos's operational reports with intense interest. The soldier she had discovered during a routine inspection was proving to be one of the most effective individual military assets deployed in the Afghan theater. Santos's missions were consistently successful, her operational decisions were sound, and her psychological stability remained excellent despite the enormous pressures of her assignments. During Santos's mid-deployment leave, she returned to Fort Campbell for debriefing and consultation with military leadership about expanding the ultra-long-range sniper program. General Hartwell arranged a private meeting to discuss Santos's experiences and recommendations for training other soldiers to similar standards. Sergeant Santos, your operational performance has exceeded all expectations. What would you recommend for identifying and training additional soldiers with your capabilities? Santos considered the question carefully. General, I believe the screening process should focus on identifying soldiers with natural aptitude for complex mathematical calculations, exceptional hand-eye coordination, and most importantly, the psychological stability to make life and death decisions independently. The technical skills can be taught, but the mental discipline and moral character are much more difficult to develop. Do you believe your level of performance can be achieved by other soldiers? With proper selection and training, I believe several soldiers could achieve proficiency at extreme distances. However, the combination of factors that allow consistent success at ranges exceeding 3,200 yards is extremely rare. Most soldiers would be more effective focusing on mastering shorter-range precision techniques. General Hartwell appreciated Santos's honest assessment. The young sergeant wasn't trying to diminish her own achievements, but she understood that her capabilities represented an exceptional combination of natural ability, training, and experience that would be difficult to replicate systematically. Based on Santos's recommendations and operational success, the military established a new ultra-long-range sniper program designed to identify and train soldiers capable of extreme distance precision shooting. While few would achieve Santos's level of capability, The program would produce a cadre of marksmen capable of engaging targets at distances previously considered impossible. Santos returned to Afghanistan for a second deployment, where her reputation continued to grow among both Allied forces and enemy combatants. Her precision strikes became part of military legend, inspiring confidence among coalition troops and fear among enemy forces who knew that no distance could protect them from the mysterious marksman known as Ghost. During her final mission before returning home, Santos achieved what many consider the most remarkable shot in military history. Supporting a critical operation to eliminate a high-value target, she engaged an enemy commander at a measured distance of 3,671 yards under challenging atmospheric conditions. The shot required accounting for extreme bullet drop, wind deflection across multiple elevation changes, and the curvature of the Earth itself. The successful elimination allowed coalition forces to capture a terrorist leader, whose capture provided intelligence that prevented multiple planned attacks against civilian targets. When Santos finally returned to the United States, she carried with her commendations including the Silver Star, Bronze Star with Valor Device, and the Distinguished Service Cross. But more importantly, she had demonstrated that human potential, properly developed and applied, could achieve results that most people would consider impossible. General Hartwell attended Santos's decoration ceremony, reflecting on the afternoon when she had walked past a lone figure on a shooting range and stopped in shock at an unusual badge. That moment of curiosity had led to the discovery of one of the most extraordinary soldiers in military history, whose capabilities had redefined what was possible in modern warfare. Santos continued serving as an instructor in the ultra-long-range sniper program, passing her knowledge and techniques to carefully selected soldiers who would carry on the tradition of precision marksmanship that she had elevated to legendary status. Her influence extended far beyond her individual achievements, establishing new standards for training, equipment, and operational procedures that would benefit the military for generations to come. The 3,200-meter badge that had caught General Hartwell's attention became a symbol of exceptional achievement within the military community. Fewer than 70 soldiers currently hold this qualification, and Maria Santos remains the standard by which all others are measured. Her story continues to inspire young soldiers who dream of achieving the seemingly impossible through dedication, training, and unwavering commitment to excellence in service of their country.